And normally, pregnancy is not supposed to be a medical condition, but you knew someone was going to tell a pregnancy story, so here we are. Pregnancy is supposed to be like a normal course of your life and, like breathing or, as I like to say, bowel movements. But some of us need a little help with breathing and bowel movements, and for me, it was pregnancy. So I'm 6.5 months pregnant with my second child. My first child is a year old. I'm hospitalized with preterm labor. I've been hospitalized 3 previous times. They sent me home on terbutaline every 4 hours and bed rest. I live in the second floor of a 2-family, no bed rest, and the terbutaline is like having 4 shots of espresso every 4 hours. So I'm like this. So they finally, after my 4th preterm labor episode, they say, no, my doctor says, no, Nancy. She's from the Mediterranean. She says, no, Nancy, you are staying. I'm staying? Yes, you are staying. Well, so I'm in the hospital. They take me from labor and delivery, and when the full moon hits, they shove me up to maternity. And when they deliver down in labor and delivery, they take me out of maternity, they shove me in a hallway. And then this goes on for 3 or 4 days, and the doctor says to me, Nancy, we are going to do an amnio, because they want to find out how mature the baby's lungs are. So they do an amnio. So they bring me down into the room, and I'm all lying on my side on the gurney, and she comes out with a needle about this big. And she says to me, Nancy, don't move. Like that was in my head, okay? What she should have said is, Nancy, don't look. But it was too late for that. So the next thing she says to me is, Nancy, a little pinch. Well, a little pinch is what they tell you at the mall when you go get your ears pierced. And that's a lie, because it's a little pinch followed by a searing, burning sensation. Well, imagine the little pinch with a 12-inch needle. And so the next thing she should have said is, Nancy, don't listen, because what I hear next is, and feel, as it goes through my stomach wall, I think, my muscle, I don't know. Then 2 seconds later, not moving, not hearing, not listening, not knowing, I hear the next thing. As it goes through, I think, my amniotic sac. So this has been my life. Upstairs, downstairs, needles, drugs, whatever. And a little 1-year-old daughter that occasionally comes running down the hallways going, Mommy, Mommy. So she finds out that the lungs of the baby are pretty mature, and I won't have to stay all 40 weeks, but she says, okay, I can go at 37. So the day arrives. They wake me, they stop my drugs at 2 in the morning, they wake me at 6 in the morning, they weigh me, I don't know why, but I've lost 13 pounds, so there you go for bed rest in a hospital. They take me downstairs, they call my husband, come in, he gets there about 9:30, 10, he comes rushing in, sits down by my gurney, right down by my knees, opens up his briefcase and starts writing out checks to his phone company, I don't know, I'm like this, Nuala the nurse is like, Jesus, and Dr. Falzone is like, Nancy, don't worry. And she pulls out a thing this big with a little hook on the end. And she winks at me and she goes, and water everywhere, like a hydrant, all over the bed, all over the checks, all over the briefcase. John's on the floor picking them up. And she goes, we can go now. So then there's 2 more people suddenly introduced to me, student nurses, Joe and, I don't know, Sandra. Off they take me down into the delivery room. So I've got Dr. Falzone, I've got Nuala from County Leitrim, I've got Joe and Sandra, I walk in, there's the anesthesiologist, there's the pediatrician, there's Siobhan from the year before who remembers my first baby. There's about 12 people in the room at this point. I start going into contractions, and it's fast because I've already been in preterm labor for 3 months, so what the heck, how is going to come? So in the middle of one of these contractions, there's 12 people all watching, and through my knees, I see, boom, the door open up, and there's the director of the St. Elizabeth School of Nursing yelling, you don't mind if a few more, observe, do you? And this all to the tune, I swear, of Boomtown. Dun, 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 dun. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the time I delivered the baby, there were about 26 people in my delivery room. Wall to wall to wall to wall to wall. But you're in labor and you don't care. Just get it out. So a few more pushes, out comes this, white slimy mass, who is now standing in the back of the room over there. And they wrap it up, and all the nursing students are looking, for that Discovery Channel moment, the bonding between mother and whatever it is. And they wrap it up, and Dr. Falzone says, "Here you go, Nancy, it's all over. You can take the baby, you go home now." And I look at this baby, and I look up, and I look at all these nursing students. And I look at my husband, and I say, "You take him." And they're all like this. Where's the maternal bond? And see, what they don't know, and what I know, because this is my second child, is that despite the needles and the pain and the upstairs and the downstairs and the fatigue and the weight loss and all the rest, that when I go home with that baby, the real madness begins.